July 19th, 2026, MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. Extra time, nerves shredded on both sides. A red shirt cuts inside, and Ferran Torres buries it. Spain 1, Argentina 0. The whistle goes, and for the second time in their history, Spain are world champions. Honestly, nobody who's followed this team closely was shocked. This wasn't some fairy tale underdog run. It was the logical, almost predictable ending to a footballing project that's been building for the better part of 2 decades. So let's actually break down how we got here. Welcome to Football Detailing. Let's get started. If you want to understand why Spain looked so untouchable in 2026, you can't start there. You have to rewind to a team that quietly rewired how football is played, the golden generation of 2008 to 2012. Before that run, Spain had a reputation as the great underachievers of the sport, loaded with talent, but somehow always finding a new and creative way to fall short. Then, almost overnight, something clicked. Under Luis Aragonés, and later Vicente del Bosque, the national team committed to one core idea: don't give the ball away, ever, if you can help it. Possession stopped being just a stat on a screen and became a weapon in itself. A suffocating pattern of short passes, patient build-up, and positional discipline that wore teams down before they ever got close to goal. The world nicknamed it tiki-taka, and for a few years, nobody had an answer for it. The trophy haul from that stretch is almost absurd. Euro 2008 in Austria and Switzerland. Then, in 2010, Spain's first ever World Cup, won in South Africa, with a single goal in the final against the Netherlands. And to cap it off, Euro 2012, where Spain became the first team ever to win back-to-back European championships, steamrolling Italy 4-0 in the final. 3 tournaments, 3 trophies. No European nation had ever pulled that off before, and nobody's matched it since. The names from that era are basically football royalty now. Iker Casillas between the posts, Carlos Puyol and Gerard Piqué holding the back line together. And in midfield, the real engine room, Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta. 2 players who didn't just play their positions well, they kind of redefined what the position even meant. Throw in David Villa and Fernando Torres up front, and you had a machine capable of dismantling almost any system a rival coach could design. Of course, that golden generation eventually ran its course. A rough group stage exit at the 2014 World Cup more or less closed the book on that era, and the years after were messy. New coaches, new ideas, some real inconsistency. But here's the thing. The philosophy that team built never actually disappeared. It just went underground, into the academies, into the youth teams, quietly waiting for the next crop of players to pick it back up. Jump forward to the 2020s. Spain had cycled through coach after coach, trying to find a way back to relevance on the biggest stages. Then Luis de la Fuente took the job, and with him came a group of players who had literally grown up idolizing Xavi and Iniesta. Kids raised inside the same academy pipelines that built the golden generation in the first place. The turning point was Euro 2024 in Germany. Spain didn't just win it, they steamrolled the entire field, becoming the only team in the tournament's history to win all 7 matches on the way to the trophy. La Roja claimed a record-breaking 4th European Championship crown, beating England 2-1 in the final in Berlin, with the winner coming from a late Mikel Oyarzabal strike. That tournament is really where the wider football world got properly introduced to this new generation. Rodri picked up Player of the Tournament. A 16-year-old Lamine Yamal walked away with the Young Player Award, and Dani Olmo topped the goal-scoring charts. 6 different Spanish players made UEFA's official team of the tournament, which is a ridiculous number for one country to produce. Spain were so far ahead of everyone else in Germany that pundits started openly comparing this new crop to the 2008-2012 side, floating the idea that La Roja might be walking into another era of dominance, mixing raw youth with players who'd already proven themselves under pressure. The individual recognition kept rolling in after the tournament too. At the Ballon d'Or ceremony that October, Rodri was named the best player in the world, the first Manchester City player ever to win it, off the back of dragging Spain to the European title. Meanwhile, Lamine Yamal, still just 17, became the youngest player in history to win the Copa Trophy for the world's best under-21. This wasn't a one-off golden crop that got lucky with timing. It was a system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here's what actually makes this Spanish side so hard to play against. It's not just that the talent is good, it's how naturally it all fits together. And a big reason for that is how much of this squad is basically an extension of what's already happening at club level, especially at Barcelona and Manchester City. Start with the spine of the team. Rodri, Spain's captain heading into the 2026 World Cup, spent his club career under Pep Guardiola, soaking up a lot of the same positional principles that once made Xavi so hard to play against. Control the tempo, dictate the rhythm, never rush a decision. Now pair that with a group of players who came straight out of Barcelona's La Masia academy, and you get a national team that essentially plays like a club side, because in a lot of ways, it functionally is one. Pedri, Gavi, Pau Cubarsí, Fermín López, all raised on the same footballing principles that have defined Spanish football since Johan Cruyff first planted the seeds decades ago. Then there's the attacking side, which is where this generation really separates itself from the old one. Lamine Yamal brings a directness and unpredictability the old tiki-taka sides didn't always have. He can beat a defender in a phone booth and still thread a pass through the eye of a needle a second later. Nico Williams adds real pace out wide. Mikel Oyarzabal keeps showing up with composure in the moments that matter most. He did it at Euro 2024, and he did it again on the sport's biggest stage 2 years later. And Ferran Torres, often used off the bench or in rotation, just seems to have a habit of appearing exactly when Spain needs him. Defensively, the blend of youth and experience, Marc Cucurella, Danny Vivian, Robin Lenormand, plus a revitalized Eric Garcia, gives De La Fuente a backline that can push up aggressively without constantly getting exposed behind. And in goal, Unai Simón has quietly been rock solid, rarely the headline, but reliable every time he's called on. What's genuinely impressive is how easily this squad rotates. De La Fuente can swap players in and out without the team ever losing its shape or identity, because everyone coming into the setup has effectively been speaking the same footballing language since they were teenagers. That's not luck. That's decades of academy investment finally paying off at once. So, how did Spain actually get to that final in New Jersey? Pretty much flawlessly, if we're being honest. Qualifying was close to perfect from the start. Spain put together an almost perfect campaign, needing only to avoid a heavy defeat against Turkey on the final match day to confirm their spot at the tournament. They arrived in North America as one of the outright favorites, and for good reason. Having already won UEFA Euro 2024 and reached the final of the 2024-25 UEFA Nations League, La Roja came into the tournament in high spirits, sitting among the favorites to lift the whole thing. The group stage set the tone early. Led by Captain Rodri, Spain topped Group H, drawing with Cabo Verde and beating both Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. That draw with Cabo Verde was a rare stumble, proof that even the best sides in the world can get pinned down by a well-organized underdog on the right day, but it barely slowed them down. Then came the knockout stage, and this is really where Spain separated themselves from everyone left in the competition. La Roja worked their way past Austria, Portugal, Belgium, and France, conceding just one single goal across all 7 matches at the tournament. Sit with that for a second. Portugal, Belgium, France, 3 genuine heavyweights knocked out back-to-back, and Spain conceded once, 1 goal, across an entire World Cup. Spain walked into the final on a 37-match unbeaten run and the best defensive record in the tournament, while Argentina arrived as the competition's top scorers with 19 goals, chasing a chance to become the first nation since Brazil in 1962 to defend a World Cup title. The final itself was tense, a real chess match. Spain dominated the run of play at an almost absurd rate, and Lionel Messi and Argentina struggled to string together anything resembling a clean chance or sustained spell of possession. The breakthrough finally came in extra time. Ferran Torres scored the extra time winner that lifted Spain past Argentina and secured the 2026 World Cup title. Speaking afterward, Torres put it about as well as anyone could. He said the goal belonged to the whole of Spain, not just the players on the pitch, and that no matter the occasion, even with Messi standing on the other side raising the stakes, this team always trusted its own style of football, and that trust paid off again in the final. By the final whistle, the numbers were genuinely staggering. Spain became world champions for the second time in their history, stretching their unbeaten run in regular time to 38 matches without a single loss, their longest streak ever, having not lost since a friendly defeat to Colombia back in March 2024. That run broke the previous European record of 37 matches, a record Spain themselves had actually ended years earlier. And with that trophy, Spain quietly completed something that's almost unheard of in international football. They now hold the full continental and world double, adding this to a trophy cabinet that already includes 4 European championships: 1964, 2008, 2012, and 2024, the 2010 World Cup, and the 2023 UEFA Nations League. Back-to-back continental and global glory, echoing, and arguably topping, what the legendary 2008-2012 side started. So what's really behind all this? Why does Spain keep churning out sides that don't just compete for trophies, but look almost built to win them? First, it's identity over individuals. Spain doesn't build its team around one superstar who has to carry the whole country on his back. Even with genuinely elite names like Rodri and Yamal in the squad, the system is always bigger than any single player. That means Spain rarely looks lost just because one guy has an off night. The structure holds up regardless of who's wearing the shirt that day. Second, the pipeline never really stops. From La Masia to Athletic Bilbao's Lezama Academy to Real Sociedad's youth setup, Spanish clubs have spent decades sharpening the same core ideas: technical mastery, spatial awareness, quick decision-making under pressure. That pipeline doesn't dry up. It just keeps handing over the next Pedri, the next Yamal, the next Kubarsi. Third, adaptability. The 2010 side was built almost entirely around suffocating possession. This 2024-2026 group, while still rooted in a lot of those same principles, plays with more directness, more verticality, more raw pace out wide through guys like Yamal and Williams. Spain didn't just copy-paste the old formula, they evolved it, layering speed and unpredictability on top of the patience and control that always defined them. Fourth, a genuinely ruthless defense. It's easy to get swept up in the talk of tiki-taka and flowing attacking football, and forget that Spain's entire 2026 World Cup run was built on a defense that conceded a single goal across 7 matches. Good attacking teams win games. Teams that can also defend like that win tournaments. Fifth, composure when it actually matters. An extra-time winner against Argentina, a late strike against England. This generation has shown, over and over, that it doesn't flinch when the stakes get as high as they can possibly get. And honestly, that mentality might matter just as much as any tactical system on the whiteboard. From Xavi and Iniesta pulling the strings in South Africa to Rodri marshalling the midfield in New Jersey, Spain's last 2 decades really tell one continuous story. A footballing philosophy that got planted, nearly lost, and then came back even stronger than before. 2 World Cups, 4 European Championships, a Nations League title, a generational talent pool that just keeps refilling itself, and a style of football so deeply woven into the national identity that even as the names on the shirt change year after year, the standard somehow never drops. Most nations chase moments. Spain builds eras. And as the football world turns its attention to whatever's coming next, there's one thing that's genuinely hard to argue with. Right now, and really for much of the last 2 decades, Spain hasn't just been good at football. Spain has been football, played about as close to perfectly as it's ever been played.